As I watch the WWE, there's one question that I keep having to ask myself every single episode, and that is, are we finally getting closer to a new era in the WWE? Let's jump straight into it. So, as of WrestleMania 41, the one that just passed, we've had a lot of new champions. I'm pretty sure almost every title, I would say every title, but a lot of the titles have been changed, right? So we got John Cena as the undisputed champion. We got um, Gunther as the world heavyweight champion. We have Dom Mysterio as the Intercontinental champion. Jacob Fatu, the New Day. We have Street Profits, Io Sky, Tiffany Stratton, Zelina Vega, and I'm missing somebody. Zelina Vega U.S. Championship. Who has Intercontinental? Oh, and Becky Lynch. And then we have Raquel and Liv as the tag team champions. And then I don't know if there even is a SmackDown tag team champion. It's kind of weird, but anyway, I say all this to say I think we're going into a new era, and I think this era is a darker era, simply because majority of the champions are heels. I know some of you guys aren't going to agree with this. I've been getting a lot of a lot of backlash on my Instagram about this post, saying that Tiffany Stratton's not a heel, Zelina Vega's not a heel, the Street Profits aren't heels. And while I understand, or even Jacob Fatu, while I understand that they're not heels at this exact moment, it doesn't mean that they're not naturally heels, and it doesn't mean that they can't turn into heels. Um, I think this is the first time where we've had even eight or nine out of 12 champions be heels. Um, and I'm not sure why they're doing this. I'm not sure where they're going with this. But even, Jay Uso losing his championship, I thought it would either be Logan Paul, who's a heel, or Gunther, who's also a heel. Um, and when I think about who could take John Cena's title, it comes down to Seth Rollins, who's another heel. Uh, Obviously, you have Cody, but for the most part, a lot of these guys are heels, and it's kind of weird to me because I don't really see where they're going with this. I'm not really sure what the plan is with having all these heels as champions. We also have Naomi, who has the Money in the Bank, who's also a heel, who could potentially take Io Sky or Tiffany's title, which just kind of again adds into what I'm talking about here. Um, like I said, I would also, in my opinion, I would also add Zelina Vega and the Street Prophetess heels too. But I understand where people could say that they're faces. And so, what does this look like coming out of this year? What does this look like throughout the rest of the year? Is this Are we going into an era where we're gonna have a darker WWE? Does this mean we finally get not the Attitude Era again, but a an era similar to the Attitude Era where we have some of those Randy Orton, Triple H esque types of promos and matches and segments. Um, while I would love to see that, I think the thing that's also missing with this era is the heel type behavior from the actual heels too. So back in the Attitude Era, back in the Ruthless Aggression era, we would see heels doing stuff like showing up at people's houses and destroying everything to, slamming people into cars and this and that. I don't feel like the WWE is doing a great job of separating the heels from the faces. It almost seems like these are the good guys and these are the bad guys, but they can flip flop at any point, and there's nothing really differentiating either one of them. So, for example, we have the Seth faction, who's supposed to be the big bad faction in all of WWE. Well, they don't really seem that bad. It just seems like they really want to win. And I don't know if that's a good thing when you're trying to get people to hate you, but I don't know why they're doing it like that. I wish that they would have Braun Breaker and Braun Strowman do some things backstage or do some pre-recorded segments where they do show up at CM Punk's house or do show up at Drew McIntyre's house or such and such's house, and like make it to where Seth Rollins' path is more clear. Like show up to CM Punk's house and injure the guy. Like we just haven't really seen that side of the heels in the WWE, and I think that the closest we've gotten would probably be Naomi, and that's when she said on stage that uh, she showed up to Bianca's house and like went through her photo album and said that she would put her in a wheelchair like with her mom and like stuff like that. Like that was like, probably the closest to, I'd say, really good heel behavior that we've seen in a really long time. And even before that, the last moment we saw was Becky Lynch hurting Bailey, and then right before that, you saw Naomi hurting Jade. But other than that, we don't really get many moments, and it's typically those moments that will take any story to another level. Even if you look at Liv versus Rhea, uh, Liv has hurt Rhea multiple times in her career, and that's what made that story so awesome and so it just grabbed your attention because you're like, Leah, can't even take Rhea's gonna kill Liv in this episode. Like we don't. It feels like we don't have that anymore. So, like I said before, we have this so-called scary faction that they're not doing anything scary. We have Logan Paul, who he's hated, but is he hated for actually being a heel? No, he's hated because you guys don't like YouTubers. Like same with Dominic Mysterio. Dominic Mysterio is, I love him as a heel, but what has he really done other than just be annoying to actually get so much heat? And so I think that we're missing a piece right there, and I wish that there were more guys who are willing to do stuff off air to better their character. Um, there's a few guys that come to mind that I wish would maybe do some of this stuff, and one guy that straight off the top would be someone like Drew McIntyre. I think that Drew's character could go to a completely different level if he embraced being a heel and literally embraced the off-air moments and just did things that no one else is doing. Whether that's, again, injuring somebody, like showing up at someone's house, running into someone's car. Like I don't know. Like again, if you go back and watch the Attitude Era, some of the some of the biggest moments you see was Stone Cold Steve Austin outside of the ring. Like yeah, he was great in ring, but it was the moments where he's putting cement in Vince McMahon's car, or he's driving a four wheeler through the arena, or he's, um, you you know what I mean. Like if you go back through these different scenarios, it's not something he did in a match or something that he necessarily said in a promo. It was the actions that we got to watch him actually do. And I think that we need to see more of that from the heels in this time. Also, I would love to see the WWE go from a PG era to maybe a PG-13 era. I don't think it needs to go all the way to rated R like it was back, back in the day. But I think a good middle ground at PG-13 would suffice. I think that is already pretty PG-13, um, and so I think just making a statement and going, we're going PG-13 would be the best move. And so that's my thoughts on this next dark era of the WWE. With all the heels, I think that we're just getting started, especially with Roman Reigns not really, no one knows what he's doing. I would say that he's probably the main character of the WWE right now, him and Cody Rhodes. But without him right now, there's not really, it doesn't feel like there's really any direction. Um, and so, correct me if I'm wrong. Comment your thoughts below, what you thought about this video and what you thought about this next era coming up. I do understand that some of these guys like Tiffany Stratton, Zelina Vega, the Street Profits, obviously Io Sky is not a heel, but some of these people can be considered faces. However, their natural behavior are all heels. And so, let me know what you guys think. I'd love to see the comments below, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.